It's a lovely evening and welcome to the ICU TV's main news, keeping you informed and inspired. Here are the top stories for tonight. President Hichilema urges Zambians to embrace love and unity on Easter. Government commences upgrading over Pedicle Road. Lusaka woman arrested for stabbing husband to death. And of course, in our international news, we have Cameroon's President Biya to get a vice president for the first time in 4 decades. In sports news, we have FC Muza and Nchanga Rangers secure quarterfinal in ABSA Cup. I'll be back on the other side with the details. With renewed hope and love, I am Nchanga Edgars, together with Hagai Kasalu on the transmission box, and now the news in detail. President Hichilema has called on Zambians to embrace love, compassion, and forgiveness following the example of Jesus Christ. The president urged citizens to choose peace over conflict, unity over division, and inclusion over exclusion. The president stressed that true followers of Christ should be willing to sacrifice, love, and forgive, just as Jesus Christ did during his time on earth. He also encouraged citizens to speak out and seek guidance from leaders when facing difficulties rather than turning to suicide. The president's message resonated deeply with citizens across Zambia, many of whom expressed gratitude for his words of encouragement and inspiration during this sacred holiday. The Zambian government has started upgrading the Pedicle Road, a vital link between the Copper Belt and Luapula province. Sabo Transport Limited is on site conducting early works, including road maintenance, equipment mobilization, and preparatory surveys. The 11-kilometer stretch, which passes through the DRC territory, is being financed entirely by the government via the National Road Fund Agency, showcasing the Hichilema administration's commitment to improving infrastructure. The project aims to boost connectivity and unlock Luapula's economic potential, given its strategic location and rich natural resources. The upgrade is expected to improve transportation efficiency, reduce travel time, and facilitate a smoother trade between Zambia and the DRC. Here's a report.
Upgrading 11 kilometers of the Pedicle Road in Luapula province to bituminous standard under a contract worth 264,681,000 kwacha awarded to Sabo Transport Limited and supervised by In-Depth Services Limited, with work commencing in February 2026. Now the Pedicle Road crosses a narrow strip of Democratic Republic of Congo territory known as the Congo Pedicle, connecting Zambia's Copper Belt province to Luapula province over approximately 70 kilometers from Mokambo near Mufrila to the Levi Mwanawasa bridge at Chembe. Without this route, travelers between the Copper Belt and the Luapula province must add up to 500 kilometers to their journey by going through Serenge and Santhia, a detour that adds costs and time to the movement of goods, people, and opportunity. The current works, funded through the National Road Fund Agency and implemented by the Road Development Agency, mark the first time a Zambian government has mobilized the contractor and committed public funding to actually deliver a paved surface on this corridor. On the ground, equipment mobilization has reached over 30%. Maintenance of the existing road has commenced, and preparatory works, including material investigations, borrow pit development, laboratory testing, and survey activities are well advanced. A crushing plant is operational on site. A roller and asphalt plant have been deployed, and a dozer is actively ripping and processing sections of the road in readiness for full-scale construction once weather conditions allow. The scope of works covers earthworks, subgrade and pavement layer construction with a cement stabilized base, bituminous surfacing, drainage structures, concrete works, and installation of road furniture, including signage and guardrails. The strategy value of the Pedicle Road goes way beyond convenience. It is the shortest supply route for agriculture and fishery produce from Luapula province to the Copperbelt markets, and a critical logistics corridor for mining inputs moving between the two countries. The DRC's Lualaba province, which borders the Pedicle, holds an estimated 65% of the world's cobalt and copper reserves, making this road a trade artery of continental importance as global demand for battery minerals accelerates. Luapula province supplies approximately 30% of Zambia's water, holds substantial hydropower potential, and produces fisheries that feed much of the copper belt, yet it remains one of the country's least connected provinces by road. A paved Pedicle Road reduces haulage costs, brings Luapula's export within competitive reach of national and regional markets, and opens a faster, more reliable supply chain between Zambia and the DRC mining belt. There is also scope for extension fiber optic cables and power transmission lines through the Pedicle corridor, linking Luapula's hydropower potential directly to the copper belt industry through the shortest possible route. President Hichilema's decision to invest in this road is a deliberate act of economic repositioning, one that addresses decades of neglect and establishes the infrastructure foundation on which Luapula can build a self-sustaining provincial economy. When this road is complete, the Pedicle will no longer be a symbol of what Zambia has failed to do. It will be the clearest example of what connecting a country's provinces to each other and to regional markets can unlock.
A 35-year-old woman is in custody after a fight with her spouse turned fatal at Soweto Market. The victim, identified as a 22-year-old Gerald Mwanga, sustained a deep stab wound to the back. The alleged incident occurred on March 28th following an argument over cheating allegations. Mwanga died at the University Teaching Hospital on March 30 due to complications from the injury. The suspect has since been charged with murder, while police are investigating the matter after initial charge of causing harm was upgraded following the victim's death. The case will proceed to court soon. You are still watching the ICU TV's main news today on Easter Sunday, and still ahead in the news, 36 residents from Chipangali districts fined for disorderly conduct at Mukubudu police post. More after this break.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to ICU TV's main news. We continue. 36 residents from Chipangali district were fined 200 kwacha each by Chipata magistrates called for disorderly act at the Mugubudu police post. They were found guilty of misbehaving during their interaction with the police on March 24th, 2026, stemming from frustrations over the murder of two villagers, Dan Zimba and Robinson Tembo. Senior resident magistrates Destiny Kalosopa warned them to follow proper channels, with raising concerns and emphasizing that disorderly conduct at a police station won't be tolerated. The convicts had spent nearly a week at Namsenje Remand Prison before the court appearance. In other news, Information and Media Permanent Secretary Mr. Tabo Kawana has called on industry players to embrace innovative strategies to boost Zambia's 24-hour economy. He made the appeal at the launch of the STEM-side Resorts 24/7 initiative. The event marks a key step in Zambia's economic transformation, with key government backing for round-the-clock operations. Mr. Kawana highlighted job creation as a major benefit, offering opportunities for youth, women and professionals. The resort aims to enhance tourism appeal by providing flexibility for travelers, positioning Zambia as a top regional destination. The move could drive growth and competitiveness in the sector. The Zambia Police is urging stakeholders to back its first ever Expo Inspector General Marathon on May 16, 2026. The event aims to raise 8 million kwacha for the rehabilitation of Edwin Imboela Stadium in Lusaka. Deputy Inspector General Charity Munganga emphasized the need for collective support during an activation marathon. Zambia Athletics President Major Bernard Walia praised the police for promoting athletics and supporting the event. The marathon will feature 21, 10 and 5-kilometer categories, focusing on safety, peace and public safety awareness. We take another set of commercials, and still to come is international news. Stay with us.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back. In international news, Cameroon's parliament has approved a constitutional amendment to reintroduce the position of vice president, which was scrapped in 1972. This move is seen as a way to ensure continuity in governance, especially given President Paul Biya's advanced age of 93. The vice president will be appointed and dismissed by the president and will automatically assume the presidency if Paul Biya dies, resigns or becomes incapacitated, completing the remaining term without triggering a new election. The opposition has criticized the amendment, saying it is a power grab and underestimates democracy's legitimacy. They argue that the vice president should be elected, not appointed, to ensure accountability. We're still in international news. The American crew member is safe and sound, says President Donald Trump. The rescue operation involved hundreds of U.S. troops with dozens of warplanes, according to CBS. Now, the CIA also launched a deception campaign to aid the rescue. The pilot was found earlier, and Trump confirms that the rescue ends a high-stakes mission that began on Friday as this relief for the U.S., avoiding prisoner of war being used for Iranian propaganda. We take our final set of commercials, and on the other side, I've got sports news. You're still watching the ICU TV's main news on Easter Sunday. And finally, in sports news, LFC Muza and Nchanga Rangers have progressed to the quarterfinals of the 2026 ABSA Cup following impressive performances in their round of 16 matches. FC Muza edged Mushitala Stars with 4-3 on penalties after the match ended on goalless in regulation time, setting up a quarterfinal clash with the Mupulira Wanderers. Now, Nchanga Rangers secured a comfortable 2-0 victory over Ron United with goals from Mike Zulu and Christopher Itaka. The Rangers will now face Power Dynamos in the quarterfinals. Ends the main news on Easter Sunday, but on the other side, join me for the headlines. As we end the main news, here is a recap of the stories making headlines. President Hichilema urges Zambians to embrace love and unity on Easter. A government commences upgrading of Pedicle Road. And the Lusaka woman arrested for stabbing the husband to death. In international news, we have Cameroon's President Paul Biya to get vice president for the first time in 4 decades. And in sports news, FC Muza and Nchanga Rangers secure a quarterfinal in ABSA Cup. Ends the news tonight on the Easter of the 5th day of April 2026. Remember, Christ died and rose again for you and I to show love. And from me, Nchanga Edgar's, and on behalf of Haggai Kasalu and the entire ICU TV production, it is a good night, have a productive week, and let love lead.